Welcome to TechUp. I'm your host, Sarah Ingram, and once again, we're bringing you tech news and reviews of mobile apps, gadgets, peripherals, and more. Here's what we have for you this week. Scientists reconstructing your sentences by literally reading your mind. A new potential monstrous galaxy that I'm personally hoping will lead us into Mass Effect relay technology. Laser-based technology that will blast dangerous asteroids into smithereens. Professional athletes using video games to train, and more. Ian also joins us once again with a top-notch review, this time checking out a laser projection keyboard. First up, let's talk about this week's download. Scientists have reconstructed actual spoken sentences from brain patterns. The present work is the first that decodes continuously spoken speech and transforms it into a textual representation. Cortical information is combined with linguistic knowledge and machine learning algorithms to extract the most likely word sequence. The brain activity was recorded in the USA from 7 epileptic patients who participated voluntarily in the study during their clinical treatments. While patients read aloud sample texts, ECOG signals were recorded with high resolution in time and space. The current technology is based only on audible speech, but researchers hope soon they can do this from thought alone. So be careful what you think about, someone might soon be listening. Solar power has now passed the 1% global threshold, and in 3 countries in Europe, it supplies more than 7% of their electricity demand. China is currently the fastest growing market, followed by Japan and the US. SPE says capacity could reach 540 gigawatts in 5 years' time in a high-growth scenario, and would reach 396 gigawatts in a low-support case. The cost of PV systems continued to decline in 2014. Low system prices are now common in several European countries, which has been achieved thanks to the declining prices of modules. Global Data Report also states that the US is likely to become the second largest market in 2015. Japan will slip to third, with the country expected to see a decrease in its annual solar PV installations following 2 years of impressive growth. Hopefully this means we'll be seeing more solar farms pop up in Canada soon. After this past winter, I could use a little help with my power bill. Astronomers have imaged a distant galaxy at the edge of the universe that is forming stars hundreds to 1,000 times faster than our own Milky Way. The astronomers used the Atacama Large Millimeter Submillimeter Array, or ALMA, to image the monstrous galaxy STP-81, located 11.7 billion light-years away from the Earth in the constellation Hydra. The giant galaxy is an excellent example of an Einstein ring. In the rare case that a distant galaxy, an intervening galaxy producing a gravitational lens, and the Earth line up perfectly, the image forms a circle of light known as the Einstein ring. The clouds in STP-81 have sizes similar to those found in our Milky Way and nearby galaxies. This is the first time astronomers have been able to reveal the inner structure of such a distant galaxy. The model also indicates a supermassive black hole 300 million times the size of our Sun at its center. Now let's build some Mass Effect relays and get in there! A woman in Belgium is the first to give birth to a baby using transplanted ovarian tissue frozen from when she was a child. The 27-year-old had an ovary removed at age 13, just before she began invasive treatment for sickle cell anemia. Her remaining ovary failed following the treatment, meaning she would have been unlikely to conceive without the transplant. 10 years later, she decided she wanted to have a baby, so doctors grafted 4 of her thawed ovarian fragments onto her remaining ovary and 11 fragments onto other sites in her body. Surprisingly, 5 months later, the patient began her cycle again and became pregnant naturally at the age of 27. About 40 babies have already been born across the world using frozen ovarian tissue taken from older women. This is a great opportunity for the future. In a sign of what's to come, Chinese AI has surpassed humans in an IQ test. In recent years, computer scientists have used data mining techniques to analyze huge corpuses of text to find the links between words they contain. But this approach has a shortcoming. It assumes that each word has a single meaning represented by a single vector. The team tackled this by taking each word and looking for other words that often appear nearby in a large corpus of text, and then use an algorithm to see how these words are clustered. The final step is to look up all the different meanings of a word and then match the clusters to each meaning. They compare this deep learning technique with other algorithmic approaches to verbal reasoning tests and also with human abilities. For this, they posed the question to 200 humans gathered via Amazon's Mechanical Turk crowdsourcing facility, along with basic information about their ages and educational background. The average performance of human beings is a little lower than that of the proposed method. A space-based system that relies on lasers to deliver energy to spacecraft may soon be our first line of defense against asteroids on a collision course with Earth. The system uses multiple spacecraft located in specific sets of Earth's orbital paths. The spacecraft are always in positions that enable them to continuously collect energy from the sun in space and continuously deliver that energy on request in a variety of forms as coherent light. The system could be configured to provide energy to other spacecraft or for application of the delivered energy to maximally efficient redirection of an asteroid or related object that is discovered to be on a collision course with Earth. The system could be readily deployed, and that could be good news to NASA, which has a legal interest in any application of the invention because the original concept was initiated during a time when it funded the work. And in case any of that scientific talk was a little confusing, we're talking about lasering asteroids to death. Lasers! New electronic devices can now be injected directly into your brain or other body parts and help treat anything from neurodegenerative disorder to paralysis. An international team of researchers developed a method for fabricating nanoscale electronic scaffolds that can be injected through a syringe. Once connected to electronic devices, the scaffolds can be used to monitor neural activity, stimulate tissues, and even promote regeneration of neurons. The process is similar to that used to etch microchips and begins with a dissolvable layer deposited on a substrate. To create the scaffold, researchers lay out a mesh of nanowires sandwiched in layers of organic polymer. The first layer is then dissolved, leaving the flexible mesh, which can be drawn into a syringe needle and administered like any other injection. Going forward, researchers are hoping that they can study the long-term effects of having electronics injected into your brain. They promise they won't take over your mind, though. Trust me. In the most realistic video game ever, the Dallas Cowboys are now training with virtual reality. The Cowboys have become the first team in the NFL to utilize the technology with software provided by Silicon Valley-based Striver Labs. With virtual reality goggles, Dallas quarterbacks, linebackers, and safeties will feel like they're inside the action, thanks to video captured by 360-degree cameras placed at the line of scrimmage during practice. This is not the first time the team has utilized cutting-edge technology. Last month, it was revealed that the Cowboys would use drones to film upcoming practices. Personally, I'm looking forward to Madden 2020 when we all wear VR helmets and knock each other over in the living room. Sports! Thanks again to our friends at Futurism for supplying us with this episode's biggest news bits. Make sure you check out Futurism online so you can keep up with all science and technology news as it happens. That wraps up this episode of TechUp. Don't forget to share your comments and suggestions on Facebook and Twitter. Tell us what you like and what you want to see. I'm Sarah Ingram, and we'll see you next time.
Come see me in the moonlight. Something wrong with my eyesight. This darkness seems so bright to me. Tell me what is so wrong. Tell me what you've been waiting on. I've been catching you singing along with every word I sing.